All right, stand by. Let me reset the mic. There we go. There we go. Good afternoon, Shaky SoCal Tool for Forza, and time for the next round of track guides for this. We're what, season 7 now in this nice BMW 3.0 CSL. This week we're going to be running races at Brands Hatch GP and Catalunya National. I think it's, and I'll double check before I do that track guide. I want to make sure it's the national, because I think there's a national alt. It's a little different, but I think it's just straight national. But we're not at Catalunya yet. We're here at Brands Hatch. So before I get into doing, again, I think I will give my initial read on tires. For those that just want to get the tire strategy out of the way early. For 23 lap race here, with a mandatory stop, and then you have to run 2 different compounds during the race. Unless it's raining, and then you just run wet. But we'll assume it's a dry race in Britain. My initial kind of lap or tire reconnaissance: hard tires will hit 60% in and around on lap 14. Again, depending how you're driving, depending on conditions, might be a little bit sooner, might be a little bit later. But 14 in and around there. Mediums, lap 10. Softs, lap 7. So I'll let you guys do the math on that one. I don't think this is going to be a multi-stop race, and the pit lane holds you about 34 seconds or so as far as the game, having control of the car. So I'm not sure if a 2-stopper is worth it. It might be, but again, I'm just a driver. I've never been good at strategy, except go fast, or go as fast as I can, and try not to hit people. But with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head out here for Brands. I'm going to run a couple of laps for the normal track guide. I'm going to run it on mediums. Then I'll do kind of the track walk, what I think the car likes, what it doesn't, if there's anything in particular unique for this car to try. And then just because I want to do a little practice with some traffic, because that's, though technically I don't need to practice since I won't be able to make the races next week, but for funsies I will anyway. At least then it'll help me validate the tire wear, as far as what I did, because the initial tire wear I did was on controller, and even if I run the exact same conditions or similar, it's like there's enough differences in how the car handles between a controller and a wheel. I just want to validate if my initial read is still accurate. So enough talking, let's go ahead and get out there. For this, since I'm in test drive, I'm kind of running static. There's no track rubbering. It's should be as constant condition as possible, but I'm going to run the same. I'm going to run full fuel load on mediums at 4 tire wear. We'll see what that does, at least on the opening 2 laps here, and then I'll just do a quick tire read. I can skip that. I don't care about that. Third gear corner, final corner. Roll back into the throttle. Since I don't have the line on, I'm just going to follow the dark lines on the track. Kind of tell me where the rubber is. Still a little bit wide there. Watch the throttle in the second half of Paddock Hill Bend up under Druid, second gear corner. Late apex out. Roll into the throttle, up to third. Stay in third this time. Use a little bit of that inside curving, use a lot of the outside curving. Brake. I'm still trying to figure out if this is a third gear or a second gear corner. The car likes to be in third going in, but I think it likes being in second on the way out better. Fourth gear. Attack that curbing as best I can. The tires are probably still a little cold. Oh, that's late too. Yeah, the tires are definitely cold. Well, we'll see if I can do that better next lap. Might have been a little late on the brakes. It's probably a better place to shift. Hmm. Not enough braking there. All right, where are we? 12%, maybe 13. So, yeah, I would still argue that 6% a lap. Yeah, it's about 10 laps until you hit 60%. So, all right, let's do the slow kind of talking about. Let's talk about the. I'll do the track walk, but one other thing I want to do, if I can remember how to work this game, just to make my life a little easier, is I'm just going to go back to manual, and that way I don't have to worry about uh, clutching or using the clutch anytime I stop on the slow lap here. Okay, so for me, braking for Paddock Hill Bend, I'm still trying to find my correct line through here. But what I'm looking for is the braking is just past pit exit Armco, and it's right about where where the two board here is on the left side. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing you can see the orange painting on the edge of the Armco just past that. For me, that's about where I think I would need to brake at. But the braking point isn't my problem here. It's my line going in. Because if you get it wrong, because typically you would think, I'm going to brake kind of in a straight line, parallel to the track. But heading into Paddock Hill Bend, you're starting to brake right as the road kind of kinks to the right, as it starts to head into Paddock Hill Bend. So you kind of almost want to angle the car towards the middle of the track a little bit as you're braking, so that I'm not saying that you have to go all the way to the inside, but you want to point it so that, at least how I'm going to try and do it when I do the mock race, is if I have the car on the left side, when I go to the brakes, I want to be on the brakes so that I have the car just to the inside, still to the left of the pit exit blend line, but pretty much about here. I think as I cross this line, I'll probably still be on the brakes a little bit, probably releasing the brakes as I get to the access road here. Fourth gear, I'm going to probably drop it down. We'll see how we do in fourth. Probably drop it down to third, get the car in. If I do it right, kind of get on the curbing here a little bit, or as close to it as possible. Careful mid corner here as you're trying to get back to the throttle. The back end's going to want to step out. So just be, mindful. You're not getting into the compression here at Paddock Hill Bend until about this point. So just, as you're cresting that hill and coming, as you make the turn in, you're kind of cresting the hill, heading down. Back end's probably going to be a little light. Just watch your throttle and your steering. But when you get about here, you're going to get the compression. As you start to head back up the hill, you should be able to get fully back on the throttle. You can use a little bit of the exit without too much trouble, bring the car back across. Heading up towards Druids, For me, I'm still using this first, the orange color here on the arm on the left side. That's my braking marker. Um, I'm still trying to get it consistent. That it is at that point. It's just depending on the tire, and the wear on that tire is, am I braking a little bit before it? Can I brake at it? Can I brake? I don't think I've gotten confident enough even on the softs to brake at the pedestrian bridge here. So I kind of use the orange Armco on the left side as my guide. But third gear, brake, brake, brake down to second. Again, my entry, I'm going to be probably, mid track at the widest. I might try to be a little more to the inside, but as I said on the outlaps, this is a late apex for me, so I'll be, outside, 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 then start to bring the car back across. Apex it late. Excuse me. Second gear, start to head back down the hill. Bring it out to the left side. As I'm starting to come down the hill, I am looking for the one board that's kind of straight ahead of me now. This next, for, let's see, it's the Graham Hill Bend. The Graham Hill Bend, it's tricky because we're on this side. We got to bring the car back to the right, but it's another one of those that right when we're going to want to get on the brakes for Graham Hill Bend, the road kinks to the right, then it goes to the turn. So this is another one that if you're not careful, it's very easy to get the car too far to the right and drop tires off on the right side, and then you're off in the grass and it takes you forever to get back on the track. So I'm going to try and bring the car back over early so that I can turn it to the left. I'm talking about left and right. Can't tell my left from my right, but ideally, as I'm getting to that board, I want to have the car, kind of parallel with the right side of the course, versus pointed at it. That'll, to me, I think if you can get the car in that position, it makes the braking and the turn in a lot easier, to get through Graham Hill Bend. What I'm not entirely certain of is gearing. Um, there's a number of turns where you'll have the choice. You can do it in second gear. You can go in third gear. There's going to be other turns like you can do it in third gear. You could do it in fourth gear. Um, on the controller, I found dropping it to second for Graham Hill Bend was better than leaving it in third. On the wheel, I kind of like, no, I think third's better on the wheel. In traffic, definitely, if I'm in the middle of traffic, second gear is going to be the way to go. But on my own, if I've gotten the braking done well here and I've got the turn in done, I'll probably try to keep it in third. And the advantage to keeping it in third for me is on the exit because it's a little bit lower in the wheel spin or a little bit lower in the RPMs. It's less likely to spin up the rear tires. If I was up in second, really high strung, you could spin the rear tires up pretty easily. So for me, third gear, the turn in, I'm going to try and use as much of I'll be playing around with the inside curbing. You can use a lot of the curbing. You can actually drop your left sides into the grass on the inside. If you do that, just be careful as you try to go back to throttle, especially as the car transitions back onto the track. It will hook the car. You'll feel the back end step out. You might need to throw a little counter steer in, as you get back onto throttle. On the way out, take advantage. You can just go ahead and totally roll up onto this curbing here and use this on the way out. The one tip I would recommend, and you play around with this in your own practice, but if you notice the curbing, that right now the curbing I'm straddling has a pretty definitive height to it. So to bring the car back across, it's going to have to kind of get over the curbing back onto the track. But if you look a little bit further up, that curbing flattens out. So if I'm going to get on that curbing, I'm probably just going to straddle it and then cross over here where it's smooth. Less likely to upset the car crossing back over the curbing. So let's see, this will be third gear. Maybe pop it to fourth, maybe wind that out in third. Heading here for Surtees. Difficult corner for me to figure out. I think this is one, for me, the braking at Surtees is, the game puts the timing line here for this, for its, excuse me, for its little sector time thing. But it's really, I think the one board is probably the best marker for me as far as knowing where to brake, because that won't be there in the race. So what I'm still trying to figure out is until I get into rhythm, kind of my habit is I'm going to brake in a straight line, release, and then turn in. I think ultimately it's the braking. You're going to trail brake this a little more, where you're not going to do all this very late threshold braking, but you trail brake in and start to turn the car in a little bit early. Um, it is still ideally it still is a late apex, but where I'm unsure of is the car really feels like it wants to be in third gear through the early part of the corner, but as you can see, it tightens up as it goes up over the hill. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the car to the inside so that when we go back to the narrow curve here, that I am fully on the inside. And this in third gear is about where the car is going to start to wash out. It's going to want to push. Maybe on the soft tires, it's less likely to do so, or you can kind of counter that by throwing a little more steering in. But certainly in the mediums and the hards, the car is going to understeer, and this is where I think second gear works better. Maybe for mediums and hards, softs you might be able to get away with in third. Um, but slowly rolling back into the throttle, let the car come out to the right side. It's going to crest up over the hill. You might get a little wheel spin. If you're in second gear, you're going to want to get the third pretty quick as we head down. Well, head down the back. I don't know if this is the back straight. Certainly is the longest straight at Brands Hatch, but then we're heading down, as I look at my little track map, we're heading down into Pilgrim's Drop, uh, setting up for Hawthorne Hill and Hawthorne Bend. So I'll be in fourth gear at this point. For me, the sector board or the sector time here is a good reference point when you're practicing on your own. But really, it is the two board, or for me, it's easier to see the orange paint on the Armco to kind of key off of, yep, I need to brake there. So for me, fourth gear, Hawthorne Bend, depending on the tire, depending on the tire, depending on how much speed you're carrying, depending on how well you get your braking done. Um, fourth gear feels a little bit low on exit. I think maybe it's momentum dependent. If you are able to carry the speed through, fourth might be fine. I'm finding that I'll probably brake in fourth and drop it to third. And turn in for me is as I pass that, kind of in between where I pass that second orange marker and where the outside striping on the curbing starts. But I like third because it kind of gets a little more weight in the front of the car. The gearing helps slow the car down. But I want to get it in here late, start to roll back into the throttle. Just in third gear, the car feels like it's got a little more oomph out of the corner. At this point, this whole back half of the course from Westfield all the way pretty much through Sterling's, for me is third gear. So setting up here for Westfield. Again, I look for the orange marking on the inside of the arm code there as that goes off the screen. That's where I know to brake. And then third gear, I am going to attack this curbing as best I can. Again, cold tires, good luck. But once they come up to temp, you should be able to attack this curbing and get the right sides on it. I have had on the controller, I haven't had it happen yet on the wheel. We'll see what happens in the mock race. Depending on how the back tire hits this inside curbing, I actually had the back end kick out on me. It kind of caught me by surprise. It was like, ooh, that's surprising. But I'm going to try and use as much of that curbing as possible. Bring the car out. You can use the curbing on the outside if you need to. I would, if I was going to get on it, I would try to just only get on the red and white curbing. Because again, if you get too far off and get into the gravel, yeah, it's forever to get back on. But still third gear. Bring the car out, I keep it to the left side. Third gear, gonna bring it back to the inside and setting up for, well, we just went through Dingledell. So now we're shutting, Sean Connery. Now we're shutting up for Sheen. Um, what I'm looking for here, again, orange Armco is what I'm looking for. That orange panel is what I'm keying off of, or what I'm looking at as far as setting up for braking. Now, Sheen is notoriously difficult because it's a blind entry, and early on when you're doing your practice, it's very easy to like, oh, I'm going to let I'm going to brake and have the car go out to the left side and then turn it in. Well, that left side comes up really, really fast. So what I would suggest, at least when I'm going to be trying to practice in the Mac race, the mock race, is for me braking from third gear or in third gear. I'm going to leave it in third. Is I'm going to brake, but I'm only going to bring the car out to about the middle of the track. Brake, 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 brake. But I'm going to keep my eyes to the inside so I can find that apex curbing. So brake, 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 probably release about here and then turn the car in. And much like Westfield, I'm going to attack this curbing as best as I can. Let the car come out. Again, no exit curbing help on the left side. So Sheen is one of those curbs. Discretion is the better part of valor. If you're confident in how much speed you want to carry through there, do that at your own risk. But it might be better just to be, especially in the opening laps, until you get into rhythm, be a little bit conservative there, maybe. To get through there. Because again, that's horrible. Once you get off on it, it takes forever to get back onto the track. Have the car out here to the left. Bring it back over to the right, setting up for which turn is this? No, wait, Sterling's, yes. So setting up for Sterling's, for me, I'm going to back the car up just a little bit. For me, I look at trees. So if as you coming down this short straight towards Sterling, you can see the very nice low prominent tree that's kind of hanging over the Armco there, just before the signboards, just before the one board. That's the tree I'm looking at. It's easier to spot the tree at this point than the braking board. But all the way down here, brake as I get to the tree. It's just right before the one board. Um, if you're able to carry speed, third gear is probably fine through here. In fact, this is another one of those that kind of like Graham Hill Bend, third gear in the higher gear and the lower RPM. You know, the back tire is going to be a little bit more relaxed. You won't get as much wheel spin, not as much drama on the way out. But you want to be able to carry speed through there to take advantage of that. Otherwise, you go through too slow in third gear, you're low gear coming out, and you're slow. If you're in traffic, second gear is fine as well. But turn it in, get it on the curbing, on the way out. So third gear. Now, setting up heading down Clearway, setting up for Clark Bend, Clark Curve, Clark Curve. You got a choice. You can wind it out in third. Um, Probably on the harder compounds, you probably won't be high enough for the rev range to get to fourth gear. The softs, who knows? You might be right close to the rev limiter as you're if you get a really good exit again. The soft tires really grippy, really good acceleration. So up to you on your cadence. If you want to wide out in third, and that works for you, great. If you want to put it in fourth, it'll be late on the straight here before you'd have to hit the brakes and drop it to third again. Up to you. But what I'm looking for isn't so much the two board on the left side. It is the three signboards on the inside. So I'm braking probably somewhere between the first one and the second one as they're going out of view. Again, if you're on the soft tires, you can probably brake almost maybe even to the final one. Practice that. But definitely as I'm passing the signboards, just in a rhythm kind of, keeping consistent laps, I'll brake as I get to them. So probably right about here, brake, third gear, brake, 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 brake. I'm going to release the brake as I'm getting to the access road on the left side. And then, third gear, turn the car in. Again, we got we're kind of cresting a hill. We're going to get down into the, little bit of help from the road here, getting onto the front straight. But again, just watch your wheel spin on the way out. Third gear, up to fourth gear. And again, as I said earlier, I'm just going to follow the dark lines on the road because that tells me where the rubber is. And that is Brands Hatch in the BMW. So should be a fun race here. Should be a fun lap. Hopefully it doesn't rain. So with that, I'm going to take a second here and set up. I'm going to set up for the mock race. I need to reset the audio bit rate so that we don't get nice poppy staticky at the end. And we'll get to it there. So be right back. Do-do-do. Okay, we're back. So, but I gotta reset the mic again. Okay, so let's set this race up. All right, we are going to be in the 1975 BMW 3.0 CSL. We're going to do circuit race. Race length, I'll take care of that in a minute. Track, Brands Hatch GP. Number of laps, 23. 23. 23 laps. Starting time of day, we'll do random. Time progression rolling, 24x. Weather, random, though I'm not going to do rain, even though my rain racecraft is severely lacking, but that's fine. Track rubber on at 50, drive atar difficulty 8, that's fine. All the drive atars. And we're going to put them all in, we're all going to be running the same car. W, pink, pink. There we go. Rules. Sport rules is fine. 4.0 on the tire wear. Standing start, random. And end of race timer, compare last. Mandatory pit stops 1. Okay. Let's go set up the race. Tell us about Brands Hatch.
The 9-turn Brands Hatch layout is technical and lightning fast. It's critical for you to swing wide when exiting each turn to maximize your speed.
Very, very track generic advice, but still good advice. What we're going to do is, yeah, light rain. Sorry. I will do the 12 p.m. time of day. That's fine, but we're going to re-roll weather. Light rain. I'll take thunderclouds. That's fine. Okay. So let's go fuel and tire. So what I talked about at the beginning of the kind of this track guide, as far as in my kind of initial tire wear reconnaissance, the lap where the tires hit 60%. For me was on the hard tires, lap 14, mediums, lap 10, softs, lap 7. Again, I don't remember where on the lap they hit. It hit 60%, but it hit 60% on that lap. So again, conditions, I can run through all the different things that can affect each of us as far as how tires are wearing. The biggest influence is still the driver that's driving the car. But for this race, I'm not going to recommend. I mean, the strategy. If I was looking at it in a dry race, I would look at 23. I might do, let's see, 14. Actually, this might even be as I'm looking at the 15 and 8. So there's some decisions to be made. This is another one of those where, kind of looking at 14, 10, and 7. Two-stopper is probably the way to go, just because I don't think anybody's going to be able to get, at best, maybe 14 and 10, hard medium, if you'd want to do a one-stopper, would be the recommended strategy. But if you really want to run soft tires, well, you're going to have to go 2. You're going to have to go 2-stop. So maybe a medium and soft, but the pit lane holds you about 34 seconds. So this one, I think, still the primary strategy is still the one-stopper, mediums and hards. The alternate might be mediums and then 2 stints on soft. So if it rains and we're on wet tires, my recommendation is usually just put the max fuel in for the race that you need, put wet tires on, and then that just, yeah, you're running heavier weight at the beginning. You're probably giving up a little bit of time over the course of a lap, but you have complete freedom when you pit. As far as, I haven't worked out like how long the softs last, but your pit window is pretty wide. You could, you know, I think the wet tires definitely get you to about halfway, maybe a little bit past it. So you figure, hey, if you start at the end and go halfway, a little bit halfway back, you know, you've got a pretty wide pit window. Um, so, but I'm not going to test wet tires. It takes long enough to do the dry tires. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I'm gonna be crazy. I actually want to validate. I want to validate the hard tire compound. So I'm actually going to put. We'll do 15 laps in the car. We do. Let's see. We'll do 15, and then okay. So anything 10 laps, whatever that percentage is. Again, I'm not good at strategy. So we'll do, but we're going to do the hard compound. So I'm actually going to see if I can get to lap 15. We're going to see if I can do it. And if I can, then I'm going to put the softs on, see if I can do 8, because I'm crazy that way. Let's go ahead and start the race. Wow, starting at front. Oh, that's not good. Well, I mean, it would be good, but no, I want traffic. So I'm going to just move over here to the left. Hey guys, go on by. Let me take a couple signboards here. Whoop! Hostile signboard. Okay. The other thing too, if you go off on the edge of the track, you bring the car back across. Don't go full beans on the throttle until you know all 4 tires are back on the pavement. It will save you a lot of headache. Again, a lot of traffic on the out lap, on this first lap. So don't need to really push. Save a little bit of tire. Pardon me? We're all really slow through here. That wasn't smart. Why you're going way wide all of a sudden, but I will take that position. notice even on the, on the hard tires, what I'm trying to do is only dial in the steering that I need. And I'm not even quite at 45 degrees there. Druids, probably need to put closer to 90, but not much beyond that. Once you start going past the slip angle of the tire, then you're costing yourself time, and you're just adding wear, which, if you're trying to, preserve the tires, going really, really aggressive with your steering doesn't help. Wheel spin there. That's late. Left the door open. The AI cannot handle going too wide into Hawthorne. Or at least it can't handle going too wide on the outside in the Hawthorne. Still a little bit of traffic, so just figure drop it to second. I'm actually braking at the pit wall Armco on the left side. That seems to be a little bit more consistent. Oops. Okay, where are we at? Huh. 18% on the left front, well, 19%. That's right on target. I can. After 5 laps, if I'm only at 20%, then 10, 40, 15. Be right at that 60 mark, maybe a little bit past it. And if you watch my throttle on the exit, it's even once I get past the apex, I'm not, stabbing back in. It's just a little bit here. Okay, so here's about where I know I can get back to the throttle. It's like I'm really not getting. Oh, I don't know. I'm just having an awkward time trying to get it into second. I'm trying to figure out where to drop it to second. So maybe I just suffer with it in third. I should do Hawthorne in third. It just makes then just run it high in third gear through this whole back section. It'll make my life easier. Over there. And Stu's livery is pretty popular. That's now what at least the second car I've seen with it. Team Stu. Take a look. Oh. Argy bargy from Nova, just reminding the other car, like, stay over there. Yeah. Forza's drivatars just don't know how to get through Paddock Hill on the outside. Yeah, the third's probably better through there. It just there's you got to get your braking. You know, you got to do it all with braking, but the car just seems to feel better. That's late. Third gear's third gear's the way to go. At least for me, third gear's the way to go. Track lights are starting to come on. Oh, oh. That was a moment. I think 15 laps is possible. Just see how bad the fall off is on those last couple of laps and see if that, you know, accelerates the wear or not. Oh, it's a little too far out. That's a penalty.
Total time penalty is about a second.
Look. Not close enough. It's one of those, again, if the assumption is that the AI is going through the same massive tire wear that I am, see on mediums, and the tire's starting to fall off. Pits? Nope. Let's see if I can get in the druids. Yep, I'm still there. Yeah, if I get my left sides on the inside there for Graham Hill Bend, yeah, I won't really try to roll back into the throttle until I'm sure the car, all four tires, are back on the pavement. Otherwise, you know, it's that whole wheel spin, back end steps out. Okay, that orange marking on the right side is a little bit difficult to see right now. So as the transitions, because the lights haven't come back on yet, you know, the racing line where in the daytime you're looking for dark rubber on the road, it actually transitioning into the night. Wow, it's dark. There we go. Until the headlights come on, it's, you know, it goes the opposite. It's like you look for the shiny part, and that's where the rubber is. Okay, that lap could have been a little bit better, but I'll just blame the transition. Okay, we're at 50%. That's why you try to get the car over there early. Okay, that's more difficult to see at night. Yeah, the car is pushing a bit. I mean, it's cold. It's colder. Looks like we got 15 laps out of it. Just gotta survive this lap. Yeah, I'm losing my references there. Light board. So out of the light, first board I see brake. I can use the orange arm coat on the left side to help set the braking up, but God, I am pitting this lap. Right. And the many improvements to Forza is the pit lane entry for Brands Hatch. It's much easier. Okay, that was 15 laps on the hards. We're going to go to soft. Let's go custom. I need what? 30%? Yeah. 11 laps. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, it gives me a little more fuel than I need, but yeah, I think to do the one below it is not enough. But I'd rather have a little more fuel to work with. All right, can we make the softs last 8 laps? So brake right, you know, at where the curbing starts on the inside. All right, so 8 laps, 60%. challenge. All the grip. Excuse me. Definitely can brake a little bit later there. Probably put it in fourth as well. See, 15%, 30, 45. It's going to be close. I think it's doable. Unless I do something stupid like that. All right, so I'm just going to get the car down on the pavement here. There we go. Over on the inside, because it's just I can't see the edge of the road on the outside, so I'm not getting parallel. Gather it up, get back into rhythm, and manage the tires. check the tires at the line, but I think I'm still, even if I'm hitting 60, say somewhere middle of the last lap, I only have to worry about the tires going, worry about the understeer for the last couple of corners. So we'll see how it plays out. The other thing too is the traffic does help a little bit. All right, have fun in the gravel. It's just because if I have to check up a little bit, I'm probably not wearing the tires then, as much as I would if I was trying to go for an outright fastest lap.
Three more.
Look. It's not close enough. Come on. Let's see if I can set up a run down to Clark. Nope, still too far back. So we'll have to set up for Paddock Hill. Oh, it's going to be close. Got it. Still having problems seeing the outside of the edge of the course there. This is probably going to be my last lap to get any positions gained because the final lap is going to be a little sketchy probably. Give you room.
Last lap. Let's go.
That was the battle for second. Turned out to be the battle for the lead. hit 60% in the final corner. Okay, so at least on the wheel, if you're careful, you can do a one-stopper on hards and softs. And 36, yeah, okay, so that's good enough, I think, on the race timer as well. So, yeah, 23 laps. That's Brands Hatch. I gotta see myself on the podium. Stop in third. Talby in second, and haha. Anyhow, so that's Brands Hatch in this BMW Batmobile, and so again, I'll update my tire strategy. Again, the controller looked like it was, on the controller the hards and softs of 14 and 7, but if you're smooth enough on the wheel, 15 and 8 is possible, but you're as much driving to a pace as you are racing. So, figure out the strategy that works best for you. But with that, I'm going to take a short break and then pop back on and do the track guide for Catalunya. So, hope you guys having a good weekend so far. Happy racing.